Robyn. Welcome to mypinkstamper.com. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. I'm going to be sharing a fun technique using our Versamark ink pad, some embossing powder, and our heat tool. This is going to be a simple card with an added touch of sparkle that anyone can do. So we'll go ahead and jump right in. If you are new to my channel, I'm so happy to have you here. I will have all the items listed across the screen somewhere down here with the item code and the description. Everything you see in today's video can be ordered directly from my shopping page, mypinkstamper.stampinup.net. If you have any questions about what I've used, it's all in the description of this video as well. Okay, so we're gonna jump right in, and I will try to make this as quick as possible. This is a fairly simple card. Now, if you don't want to do the embossing part, you can make the same exact card without the added touch that I'm going to be showing you. This is a piece of Whisper White cardstock. It's just a scrap piece, and I'm using the Calls for a Celebration stamp set. This is in our current annual catalog, and it's wonderful. It has a lot of great sentiments, and I'm going to show you how you can use this as a standalone stamp set. You don't need any images or anything like that. We're just going to use this sentiment right here. We are going to be using our Lemon Lime Twist ink pad, and I'm going to grab my stamp that's ready to go on one of our clear mount acrylic blocks. And this is just a scrap paper, so it doesn't really matter where you stamp it. Let's go ahead and ink that up. Stamp it. It's beautiful. So you can go ahead and skip the next step if you don't want to emboss and just move right on to finishing up the card. But I'm going to show you what we can do to emboss this. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm using, this is our embossing buddy, and I'm just going to let this dry for just a second because I know that ink might take a second to set in. It's a fairly juicy ink pad. Okay, I'm going to just take my embossing buddy and just swipe this across this whole thing, and I'll show you why in just a second. It probably doesn't even really matter on the technique that we're doing because we kind of want it to stick everywhere. So that step probably doesn't even need to be on this video tutorial. I'm just so used to using it anytime I emboss. So I'm just using my Versamark ink pad, and I have this just upside down. This is a watermark / embossing ink pad, so you can use it on colored cardstock as well. So I'm just going to pour this on. This is a concoction of our clear embossing powder and our Dazzling Diamonds glitter. So I have that on here. I'm going to add a little bit more over on this side. There we go. Okay, now I'm taking our embossing tool. This is our heat tool, and it has two settings. The first setting is if you're heat setting your ink. Sometimes we need to set it a little bit, especially if you're stamping on vellum. And the second setting is for heat embossing. You cannot do this with a blow dryer. Blow dryers don't get hot enough, thank goodness, because can you imagine blow drying your hair with this heat? This gets really hot. So what I'm going to do is just hold it in one place. Some people like to swirl it around. Some people do it on the bottom. This is how I've done it for the past 23 years. So this is what works for me. So you find what works for you. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and do all of this over here, even though we're going to be cropping that out. And you see it changing the consistency. It's getting glossy and glittery. It's just beautiful. All right. Almost done here, and I don't want to speed up the process on this because I think it's just so therapeutic to listen to it and to hear it. Okay, so I have that done. That's all I need my heat tool for. Set that aside, and I'm just going to let that just sit for just a second while I'll go ahead and put my embossing powder away. I just have this in a little plastic container that I got at the dollar store. I have my mix of 1 clear to just a little bit of the Dazzling Diamonds. You can add as much or as little as you like. And then I have this separate so I know anytime I want to use this. It says clear and glitter, and I have an example of it on the top so I can see what it looks like. I do that with all my embossing powders. They're all in those little containers. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead. You guys can see it's all shiny and shimmery. I'm going to go ahead and let me just do this first. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. I'm cutting all the white, so I'm just cutting a little bit into the green. Super easy to do. It's okay. It doesn't have to be straight. Now I love our framelits and our thinlits, but this is definitely one you can just do without that step. And I have this all cut and ready to go. All right. I have a lot of glitter on my mat. That's why it's best to work with either a piece of background paper, we have our grid paper, or I just have a little mat here from my sewing. Okay, so here this is. Can you see this? Now we're going to turn this into a really cute card. I have all my materials right here. I'll go ahead and start with, I have a scrap of our vellum cardstock. And I'm going to use our 2 1/4 inch punch and turn that upside down. And then to store it, you just close that so it's nice and flat. So I have our circle punch there. Now I have a scrap of our basic black cardstock, and I'm using our starburst punch. This is the same thing. Turn this upside down, punch it out, save my scraps. I can lay it flat. They can actually stack on top of each other, and put this together. My base of my card, the base of my card is our thick Whisper White cardstock. I have this cut at 5.5 by 8.5 inches, and I have scored it using our paper trimmer at 4 1/4. This helps me to get nice and tight creases. Our thick Whisper White is nice and thick, and it's perfect for card bases. So I rarely use just the regular Whisper White. I use that for my layers. I use our thick Whisper White for card bases. It stands up nice and it's nice and sturdy, but you do want to get a nice tight crease when you're folding it over, so that's why I like to score it. I have a piece of paper here. I will have the name of this designer series paper pack on the screen. I think it's something with Broadway. So it'll be on the screen with the item code. This comes in sheets of 12 by 12. It's an assorted pack of our designer series paper that comes with different gold and black, and it comes with lovely lipstick is incorporated in the pattern, as well as lemon lime twist. So it's a really fun combination. I'm going to add this onto a piece of our basic black cardstock, but first I'm going to tell you the size that I've cut this. This is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And now I have our basic black cardstock. This is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to take some of our snail adhesive and add it to the back of this designer series paper. And I'm going to add that onto my black, and it gives it a nice pop. It's just so fun. Lemon lime twist and black, they're so dynamic together. They're just a wonderful combination. If you haven't tried them yet, I highly encourage you to do that. And our lemon lime twist color ink pad will be leaving us at the end of May. So if you love it and you're falling in love with it, get it before it's gone forever. It will not be in our new catalog. This is it's called an In Color, and it's available for 2 years, and it's almost done. I'm so sad, but I'm glad I'm sharing it with you now so you can see it. All right, so now we're going to take our Starburst punch, and I'm going to add some adhesive on the bottom, the back left, and I'm going to have that just kind of stagger my vellum, and I am going to take our main element, and I'm just going to put in adhesive just on about half of it. And I'm going to have this go across here. I'm leaving a little bit of extra room at the bottom, like this. And now we're going to turn this over, and I'm using our Stampin dimensionals. These are wonderful. I use them all the time. I'm going to use a lot on this one, actually. I want it really to stand up and be secure. That is the sound of dimensionals and their paper backing coming off of them. Okay, so I am going to add this to the bottom left, and it is not done because I'm going to add one more thing. I'm using our rhinestones here, and I'm going to add them to the bottom of this card for a little more bling. So I have the middle of the starburst right there, and then I'm going to do the right. I use my bone folder for that. Now I flip it over. This helps me to line it up a little bit easier. Flip it over. I think I can line this up. And it's good enough. And now I have a quick and simple card. Now again, you can make this card without using any of the embossing powder or heat tool or Versamark, but this just, why would you want to? This just makes it a little more elegant and fancy for your friends, even though it hardly takes any time to make this at all. Thank you so much for stopping by. You can find more of my projects, video tutorials, weekly giveaways, and fun on my blog at mypinkstamper.com. If you'd like to order any of these products, I have all of the items I used in this video in the description below. If you like my video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. If you have not subscribed yet, don't forget to hit the little notification bell next to subscribe so you'll be notified when I post a new video for you. Have a wonderful day. Thanks again for stopping by.